Yeah. Said I'm sitting in the studio with my two friends. We in the friend zone, not no bins. Wish we had the top down when I gotta wear my crown. Oh, I just stopped cause I'm feeling down. Dustin Ross, where you at? I see you over there. And friend, you ain't gotta stare. Yeah, you're laughing. Hee 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 how. Hee 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 how. Yeah, friend zone now.
What up?
That was like a mellow vibe today. Y'all are in chill mode.
I sampled a little Anita Baker this week. You know, that was a little Angel by Anita Baker reworked.
I appreciate your improv.
Yeah, thank you so much.
He started something and I was like, let me switch this a little bit.
Musical genius
I was
over here.
listening to an interview with Hot 97 and they were interviewing Dej Loaf. And they asked her who would be your ideal collaboration. She said Anita Baker.
Can you imagine Dej Loaf and Anita Baker?
Yeah,
no.
But why would it be the jam though?
But I thought that was so interesting.
Look,
of all people in the
she
world.
does so much weird shit that I just hope that they would like find a way to make this is actually tasteful.
Can't you hear Anita Baker? Nigga, try me.
No.
Try me.
Dej is an old soul.
Dej Loaf, baby.
I feel
Welcome
it.
to the Friend Zone. Another episode of the Friend Zone, which is the podcast that we bring to you each and every Wednesday that focuses on mental health and mental wellness and mental hygiene. Because who in the hell wants a musty brain?
Okay, Asante with the ad libs.
That's right.
I
Soul. Giving it soul.
Maybe I should just ad-lib the entire episode. Just be the Migos episode.
You got
The
it.
Migos episode.
Yes. So here we are again.
Another
friends.
week.
Yes.
Asante. What are we talking about today, guys?
Question. What?
Asante.
No.
Now that that was funny.
Thanks.
You're so
Okay,
stupid.
maybe that's
You're like the little sibling I've never wanted. No.
maybe.
Stop. Oh my God.
Oh, Riley
Julie.
Curry ass nigga. Way up. Okay.
I was hoping North, but I guess I'll settle for that.
Riley Curry is the GOAT.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
North
It's
is
their
just on the
season.
whole like
everybody always has their season, but North will always be around.
yeah, her
Their
and Blue are like
season.
industry standard.
You remember when Siri Cruz had her season?
Oh, where is she?
Bingo.
Well, I don't think she saved, so.
She
Sorry.
probably still wearing them little kitten heels too. Remember they used to put her in them little kitten heels and she was a little girl.
And somebody had the
I
nerve
said,
to do
why
their
she
burn
got
book.
on a pump? Like
As long as her mama got her away from that Scientology world, she'll be all right.
She made it out
She's
the
probably
hood.
in hiding.
I think she is.
You know what?
Maybe some
believe
witness
it.
protection
They're-
program.
Man, you know what? We're going to do an episode one day where I'm going to talk to you guys about my summer at Scientology.
Oh.
Yes, I was definitely a part of their
Oh,
little
no.
world. I won't say cult. I'll say world.
Wow, friend.
That's gonna
Yeah,
be a good
man. We
one.
should
I'm
have like
so-
a whole
I so wanna
spirituality-
know.
Yeah,
Damn, can we
yeah.
do that tonight?
We'll have a whole
No, we
quest
can't.
for spirituality, religion episode, and I'll get into the different
Would you like to do it?
the different roller coasters I've been a part of.
Would you like it?
Would you like
I
it?
definitely think I would. That was horrible. I used to be so good at a British accent.
I was about to say, was that supposed to be?
Right. I used to be so
He
good.
said, I definitely think I would. I was
All
like,
right.
Just sound really American.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I love that song. I'm
What
sorry.
are we talking about today?
So I was telling the guys that I was listening to The Read.
Mhm.
Shout
I guess
out.
it's the episode that came out last week. And one of their listener letters was a young white lady
Mm.
who lives, I'm assuming, in Washington Heights,
Hey,
based on her
neighbor.
letter. Right? Hey, neighbor. And she was
You
basically...
said she white?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
And she was basically struggling with why she feels so unwanted in Washington Heights by the native residents there. And she basically, described just not understanding why people look at her crazy and treat her crazy. And she just wanted to live somewhere close to the train that takes her to work. So I think it'd be awesome if we, being that we all live in neighborhoods that have been
Oblivious.
gentrified, can give a little bit of insight to the young lady and to those listening onto why gentrification is a good thing and why it's a bad thing and all in between. So that's what we will be discussing today. So I was wondering what Asante and Dustin had to say about gentrification. I want to know your experiences. So, Asante, you shoot.
Specifically for me, I have lived in New York for 6 years. Harlem, I have lived in for 5.5 years. Most of the time I've been here, I've lived in Harlem. And I've seen the neighborhood just always be like black and Spanish. I think it was more Spanish it was more black when I moved there actually. But it's just always been that. And it's always been neighborhood stores and all sorts of things. And 5 years later, there is a bar on every corner now. Like there's literally like every block I can name the new bars that are on there. There's a sushi spot up there. They're repaving the streets up there. Like, and it's just so happens you see a lot more white people, and like the rent just be going up, and it's like these are just like the obvious indicators that people are kind of like they kind of don't want to talk about. Like I just want to talk about the surface issues, like to get it started, because there are these little things that people see, and then they're just kind of like, that's not gentrification. I don't see that. But it's like if you have lived in a neighborhood and you've just kind of watched the whole, like the entire landscape change, and then you go back on Google and you see the whole thing look different. It's just kind of, your neighborhood's not the same. And then there's all these different names now up there, like Washington Heights.
NoHo and
oh my God,
Spaha and
Spaha.
Spaha.
I was like, what the fuck is Spaha? Spanish Harlem.
Cut it out.
I'm not. You ain't heard that.
Spaha. Why do we do this?
I was like, what the fuck? Like, why?
Yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, okay, so yes. Being that I've been in Harlem pretty much my entire life, it is nice to now have, a place where I can get ramen, and it has diversified, I guess, the neighborhood, and there's more, because, growing up, I only had bodegas and the Chinese takeout. That literally in the liquor store and a couple supermarkets, that was pretty much our options. And then now with the gentrification that's been taking place since forever, and I think it's just kind of getting heavier and heavier the past 5 years, like Asante said, now it's like the ramen spots, the sushi spots, Starbucks. You always know with the spot with Starbucks. As soon as that comes in, your neighborhood, it's a wrap.
Yep.
Yeah, and then now we're getting a Whole Foods on 125th Street.
When they put that Whole Foods up, I know the rent is going to skyrocket.
Well, the rent already has.
Yeah.
I told Asante that when I got my lease for this year, my rent went up by $500, which I didn't even know was legal.
Nope.
I called my mom freaking out. Because, I had settled into my spot. It took me a long time to be able to get it, work up to afford it. And then now I'm basically getting pushed out,
right.
And that's so unfortunate. And I know it's because of the Whole Foods and all the other things that have popped up. So it's kind of like, we have quote unquote nicer places, but I can't even afford to live in my own neighborhood that I've grown up in. My neighbors that have been there for 30, 40 plus years getting pushed out because they can no longer afford it, And I guess the part that frustrates me about it is that we, it was all very calculated. And sorry to get all, theory, all conspiracy theory on you guys, but it was all very calculated moves to push us into certain neighborhoods.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we made these neighborhoods work out of survival.
That's right.
So now because certain races, white people decided, you know what? Actually, I want a different commute. I want something closer. I want this. It's like now all of a sudden what we've created out of survival, we're getting pushed out of that. So we weren't welcome downtown. We created our place uptown. Now we're not welcome uptown. So where are we being pushed out to?
Right. Where the hell do you go?
That's the problem. Because now I can't live downtown. I can't afford it. Soon I won't be able to afford uptown. So where am I going? And why is it that's the problem?
Out of town.
And
that's where they want you to go.
Right, to the suburbs.
The things being added into the neighborhood aren't things that we're asking for. Like I looked at my neighbors. I don't think anybody said, damn, there ain't no good bars around here. And decided, you know what, let's throw 5 bars just block to block to block to block. Like, I was looking at this shit like, y'all really just don't want us here. Because those bars, when you look inside them, like they not even playing our music. I couldn't even get a job in a bar in my neighborhood.
And when you go into the ramen and sushi spots, no one in there, like half the people in my building probably couldn't even afford it.
Right. They're not sitting
They
down.
don't know.
Sushi
When you ask them what ramen is, they think it's the shit in the package.
Okay.
That looks like Nene's
They're like,
hair.
why would I sit down
Why
for
would
you
I
to,
go
to,
into
to
a
crunch up the
restaurant?
package?
Like, that
Ramen.
shit is
and boil
33
some
cents
water.
at the store. What the hell I'm going to go pay them for?
$30 for a bowl of ramen, you know? And it's so, I don't know. What do you think, Dustin? It's been really frustrating, especially being from Harlem.
I live in an area that is not like I'm the only black person in my building, right?
Wow.
Yeah, and so
You
for
do
me it's a little
gentrification.
different.
Well, that'll
like I
be
know,
my building in about a year.
yeah, I've seen like every I've seen it both ways, right? You have to remember I'm from Michigan. So I went through I come from a place that experienced like an industrial devastation and people had to bounce back. A lot of people lost their homes due to like predatory lending and all kind of crazy shit. So I've seen, areas come back, experience a resurgence where everybody is moving into the parts of town that were not, the most desirable, but it's people who still have a connection to the soul of that area. It's people who still have a connection to the culture and the spirit, right? So that's a little different than, and the property values are so low right now because all these homes were previously in foreclosure, beautiful condos, downtown Detroit, things like that. So there's a lot of people flooding like the downtown area, right? So I've seen that work. That's not really gentrification, but I've seen a shift, in the neighborhood and in the inhabitants of the neighborhood, right? But then I've also seen straight up fucking gentrification where they come through and let everybody in the building know that the rent is going up and it is what it is, and you have to figure out what you're gonna do, but your ass has to be out in 6 months. You know what I mean? I've literally seen that happen. A friend of mine and I were walking in Brooklyn a couple of days ago, and he was like, look at this, and I looked at the building next to him and they had like taken all the windows out and they were completely starting to renovate it, and you could tell it was going to be beautiful because the building to the left of that was brand new, granite everywhere and chandeliers and marble tile and shit. Like it was like nice in the middle of Brooklyn, and I mean Brooklyn. And so he's like, they're doing that there. He was like, I know they're going to try to kick us out of our building.
Right.
So it's just kind of disheartening to see. And I guess what's more amazing for me is that people who obviously have the mental capacity to really understand all the dynamics of the situation and why gentrification is hurtful for some people, the very people that are moving in, they can understand that concept and that logic, but they refuse to. And they act as if they're completely aloof and don't understand. And, I just wanted another, a closer commute. Right. Well, there's more to the story than that. Now, there are some good things about all new businesses in the area, and there's shit that we use, you know what I mean? And we're happy to see come into an area. So some of it works out for the best.
Right.
What I personally have a problem with is the people being pushed out of their residences because they just can't afford the rent anymore. That's bullshit. That's what for me is hard to watch.
And that's the part that I understand there's not necessarily like a platform where gentrification can be discussed. Maybe that's the problem, that there's no one having some sort of communication about it. Because I see the white people that have moved into my buildings, even my old building in the projects. I see, which is so weird, white people moving into the projects too. But I guess it's frustrating because it's like the girl said, and for those of you who listen to the read, you guys already know the listener letter. If you haven't listened to the read, I actually suggest you tune into their latest episodes so you can hear it and know where we're coming from.
It was called Anal Training Day.
That really was the name of the episode.
Yeah, of course.
So,
of course.
So the part that kind of struck me and inspired me to want to kind of speak about it more and create a conversation surrounding it was that the young girl was just so confused on why people were angry. And in a way, I feel for her in a little tiny way because I get it. She just wants to live somewhere affordable that is where the commute is easy for her. Okay, who isn't looking for that? I get it. But when your presence is contributing to neighborhoods being completely turned upside down and families being literally thrown out of buildings to make way for you, you have to acknowledge that is happening, and that is why the neighbor who probably lived next door to someone that was there for 30 years and watched them get kicked out might not feel too happy that you're there.
We're talking about understanding. We're talking about being empathetic. We're talking about having fellow feeling.
And understanding, because even the fact, I think, yes, it's cool that you wrote the letter in because that means that you want to have the dialogue. But the part that I'm not understanding is how you are sincerely unaware of the impact that your race is having in our neighborhoods. You know what I mean? And it's equivalent to the people with all the brutality cases who are online. Like, well, I don't get it. Maybe, like the young girl, did you guys see that the cop like totally just flipped her off her desk this week? All you saw were people being like, well, you know, maybe if she would. It's like, what do you mean maybe if she? There's nothing she could have done.
First thing out of people's mouths.
I don't need to know any more to the story.
I don't need to know
I saw
anything.
something that was completely inexcusable, and you know,
there's never a
let's
reason
address
for
it.
a grown man to flip a little girl off of her desk. There's no reason.
Unless she's his daughter and she didn't do them damn dishes like he told her to the night before. No, I'm just kidding. But like for me, that whole argument of, well, we don't know enough or we haven't seen or anything else. If you can't look at that image of that fully grown man literally tossing that girl like a old piece of gum, you know what I'm saying? If you can't look at that and
why
see,
he felt that was okay.
Yeah, if you can't just
that's why
simply,
this ties into me, because I feel it ties into the girl writing in this letter and just being like, I don't know why it's happening, you know. And it's just like, come on, girl, like you can't.
It's right.
You can't be that person. You see it. You see what your presence is doing. Like I said, we created these cultures in these neighborhoods and these little webs because we were thrown uptown into these ghettos, into these buildings. You know what I mean? And so now that's the part that bothers me. Like, I'm someone that has survived Harlem and seen it go through all its changes, and it hurts me that I within a year or two will not be able to afford to live there. That's just the reality. I'm not going to. Right now I'm at the like borderline of me knowing that at my next lease, that's it. Yep. And then where do I go?
I can't afford
because I can't afford downtown. I can't afford Brooklyn. The Bronx just isn't an option.
Oh no.
And because the commute is ridiculous from the Bronx, you know, to anywhere I need to go to, and I can't afford Harlem. So where am I going? Literally, where am I going? There's no suburb. I don't have a car. So what's next?
For me, it's scary because I know for a fact that I can't afford to live in my neighborhood no more. Like
we're like right there.
Once
the next
my
lease
rent situation, like once
I think all of us are at that
I'm done.
space.
I'm gonna have to either take my ass to the Bronx, Narnia, or something, until they decide to come for that, or to.
And that's the problem. Then when whites decide that the Bronx is the new boho, or whatever it gets called, then it's.
Yep, they're gonna be. Ooh, it's right between like Yonkers and White Plains, or White Plains in the city. So you know they're gonna come for the Bronx.
They're gonna call it Yo Pains.
Yo Pains.
Yo Pains.
And that, you know, that's the problem I have. I'm tired, I think, of people just acting like things aren't happening for a reason.
You know exactly why the hell I'm mad.
You know exactly why people are looking at you crazy in these buildings. And the reality is, it is a tough situation because like I said, I understand you're just trying to find an affordable crib like we all are in New York, you know, but I just wish that people would be more mindful.
There you go. Of
the neighborhoods they're moving into.
There you go.
And how that affects the people that are already living there and have built entire lives and generations and histories and cultures and memories and networks. How does your presence affect that? And that's something that I think people need to discuss.
It speaks to a bigger issue, which is why I actually was excited about discussing this on the show, because it goes straight back to people just being considerate of others. That simple, that's right? It. Like you know, you have the aptitude to know that people are responding to you this way because of you being the personification of gentrification in their area, right? Literally. And you get that. You wrote in the letter and you said that you recognized that was why people were mistreating you, but you just, you know, it was more important to you to be close, literally her words, to be close to the one train. So that's where I take issue. Like, if you're able to recognize why they're doing that, then you are able to, you know, ascertain that before you moved into the area and pick somewhere else to live. Okay? Because you know that you moving there is only making the problem worse. Okay? And it's not you personally, it's you occupying a space that has now been priced at a certain price point that is throwing people out.
You.
Yes,
right.
and to displace them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's going on. So the fact that you said, well, I get it, but this is close to the 1 train, so fuck all y'all, I'm moving in, but I still don't want you looking at me rolling your eyes. No, you're going to get an eye or two rolled, and that's a good day, you know? And so, and seriously, and so that's what I take issue with. Things change. Like, the older you get, the more you know that everything changes, right? And that's the one thing you cannot avoid is change. Mm-hmm. So I know that areas and neighborhoods are going to be gentrified. I know that cycles are going to take place and people are going to move from this pocket to this pocket over time. Everything's going to change. I'm fine with that. My problem is the people that knowingly and willfully, you know, participate in situations that contribute to these horrible you know, occurrences, but they want to say, I get it, but I don't know why you mad, and I'm going to do it anyway. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's where I take issue. So.
Right, and that's the part that got me kind of hot.
I just don't, like, for me, just come on, man. Like, if you know, why are you doing it?
And you live in the Heights. How is it? Because I think our side of
my neighborhood is actually called Hamilton Heights. Thank you very much.
Excuse me.
Right, like another one of those fucking just names. When I was there, it was West Harlem, and then somebody one day was like, somebody argued with me and said, we live in Hamilton Heights. This is not West Harlem. I was like, this is Harlem. This is the West Side. This is West Harlem. Like, I literally argue with
Hamilton Heights. What
does
that
so
even
bad.
mean?
And it was a white person I was arguing with.
You were that person.
I literally was like, why am I talking to you about this? Like, just because you live there don't mean you know nothing. Like, I actually strive to be a staple in my community.
A staple.
For real. I always talk about, like, hood rejuvenation and shit like that. And so I made it a point to get to know, like, the people in my area. Like, the niggas that be arguing on the block every night. Like 1 or 2 summers ago, I was like, I just kind of want to be their friend. And so I just, like, started saying hello. So now whenever I see them around, it's like, what's up? They just
it's
always.
A network.
Yeah, some people in the building. Like, they're my neighborhood. I think when I first moved to New York, I thought that these were just places to live, you know? Not that this is my home. This is where I'm going to have to, like, go to every night and, like, really be myself and, like, build my stuff up. Because when I think of home, I think of my mama house. So then I moved out into my own house. I had my own, like, home and place to be. It still wasn't like a home. Like, that's how New York doesn't feel for me sometimes. So that's why I know once I move out of this particular place, I want to be in my neighborhood because I have connections there.
Right.
But it's going to be hard to do that with all these other people.
What do you think the resolve is for gentrification? Because the reality is I don't think it's stopping anytime soon.
I don't think you can. I don't think it can be stopped.
Or resolved?
No.
You got to keep doing them lotteries. You don't think it can be resolved?
Mm-mm.
Keep doing them housing lotteries.
And, you know, I think what's the hardest part? I had this conversation with a friend of mine, and this topic always gets me so heated. Like, I'm generally calm, but there's certain things when people talk about the hood that just make my teeth hurt. You know, like, right. I get so hot. And is a friend of mine who unfortunately is going to jail for a really long time. So another friend of mine was like, well, I don't understand, you know, why he didn't just choose a different life. And she was just so quick.
Why? No, I'm sorry, but I can't. Why does that even need to be said?
The dude is going away.
He's going to jail.
It's already been done.
I'm sure he's not happy about that. So we don't need to sit up and discuss, well, why didn't he do any? Why didn't you just shut up?
Right. She was so quick to say, you know, well, his choices and this is the consequences that he should have known. When you do this, you're going to get this and you only have this. And I'm like, listen.
What's going to happen when she keep talking?
And what I said to her was, listen, yes, I've heard all of that. And yes, I understand why you would think that. But everyone who was born in the hood knows that there are very few options. And if you're one of those hood kids that happen to get out like me, you're a lucky ass. Yeah. It's not something that is super common, you know, and unfortunately it's a luxury to even be able to, you know, navigate through the public school system because it is a pipeline to prison.
Absolutely.
That's why we're seeing videos like these little girls getting, you know, flipped up over their chairs. So it gets me so angry when people are so quick to be, even with the gentrification conversation, people are like, well, you just got to figure out how to, you know, get a better job, make more money so you can afford to stay there. Or you can afford to live wherever. And it's just like, yeah, that would be nice if the world was set up that way.
And furthermore, that's not the conversation we're having. We're talking about gentrification,
Right.
and we're talking about the negative impact that it has on people who are native residents of an area.
Right.
We're not talking about life choices. We're not talking about career choices. We're not talking about what could be done to be better.
Right.
We're fucking talking about the way that it feels.
And
I
especially
hate
when
that.
it's all systemic.
Yeah.
Like that, like people act like like the majority of people in the hood are just chilling. Like, oh well, it's just the cards I was dealt.
Let me tell you something. This whole, like right now with Twitter and social media and all that shit that has, with the invention of the comment section, which I blame for everything, right? because who asked you, period. Who asked you? Like, so the fact that we've given them a forum to tell us how they feel about shit when we really didn't ask for it, this is where the problem comes. And so I don't even remember why I was about to say that.
You just had to say it about
no, because we were talking about people giving saying things. Yeah, giving their opinions. Like, there you go. And I don't even care if y'all leave that in there or not, because you can put a sound effect behind it. Okay, but like people giving their opinions. If that young
especially
man
on things that they don't know.
Fran, he's going to jail he's going to jail, period. Okay,
right.
And he's going to jail for a very long time. Do you think that he is remotely interested in hearing a commentary on making better, on what you should have done differently to avoid what's apparently about to be horrible? Like, why do you need to share that?
And no compassion or empathy. And even in the case, in the courtroom, the fact that the jurors, the judge, everyone, it's just like no one takes into account someone's life.
No.
Everything is just boom, this is what it is. Yep. Like why wasn't his background dissected? So I say all this to say, like, this has all been very calculated.
Yeah.
All of the types of schools in our neighborhoods, the types of options we have, where to eat, like all this has been so calculated. And like I said, we created these networks to be able to survive in them as best as we could. So when people push us out and then try to flip it on us, like, well, you should have done better. It gets me so frustrated. And that's why, even though I'm making a little more money than I was, back in the day, I still stay in Harlem, which may be not the smartest thing, but I just have this thing where I'm like, I want to help.
Right.
Yep.
Because it just feels so wrong. I hate that we're getting pushed out. All these little old ladies, like, what can they do?
Mm-hmm.
Where are they going? I have neighbors that I don't even know where they went when they got pushed out. I see my white neighbors now, but I don't know where the old ladies that live there went.
I've seen all sorts of shit happen in my neighborhood too, and it's like, I wonder how things are gonna be different with all of the white people in the neighborhood. People have been this past summer, actually, at least 3 or 4 people on my block have died. Been murdered, or just some shit happened, like, old people have died, like stuff like that.
Right.
But it's like, when all these white people move in, are they gonna start, like, patrolling more? Ambulances gonna show up quicker, like stuff like that.
That always comes with it.
Because it's like, it's gonna happen when shit is too late. Like, it don't happen now. Them niggas be arguing till 3-4 o'clock in the morning, which is not a big deal.
Loud as hell.
Right. But there was a lady that she died in her apartment maybe 2 or 3 months back, and the ambulance took forever, they said. And you always hear about shit like that, but but when I'm like 2 a.m. in the deli walking out, seeing all the lights and stuff, and I just overhear this lady. She was like, the ambulance took like an hour. Like they wasn't even trying to come over here. Like, and it's like, it's always some shit happening. So why is the ambulance not trying to come over here? But then it was just like, well, I'm sure when gentrification is good and set in, this is not going to happen. But then again, them people ain't going to be up in there dying anyway, so, because they can't afford to live there.
So frustrating. I don't know. I'm trying to think, because with me, everything's about resolve. So I'm trying to figure out, like, how do we do something?
We gotta
roll your eyes at the people that you see that have moved into your neighborhood. No, I'm just kidding. Not a solution. Just as a reference here, right? I did a study of this neighborhood in the Bronx, in the South Bronx, where we surveyed okay.
Oh, Sobro. You know what though? It really is called Sobro.
Of course,
I saw it on Craigslist.
Of course.
But
South
anyway,
Bronx,
sorry,
Sobro.
Sobro.
That's really fucked up when you think about it. Like Sobro. Anyway, the forgotten people. But anyway, so so I did this study, right? and we surveyed the families of like all these middle school age children in this area of the South Bronx. Do you know that 93%? 93% of the people that we surveyed had never gone beyond an 8-block radius of their home address.
What?
That is for work. Most of them did not work.
Wow.
They sent their children to neighborhood schools, and most of these families were multi-generational. So they were like grandmothers, mothers, grandchildren, all in the same house. Uncles, so this
Wow.
these children are like 13 and 12 years old, and they had never been to Manhattan. Never. Okay, so that is, and I bring that up
That's
because
crazy. I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
listen,
wow.
because and so those are the people. Even though that is insanely, just it's something that is shameful to me. Like, people need to really experience the world and see it and get to know their neighborhoods and outside of their neighborhoods, especially in a city like New York, right? But it's the reality. So my thing is, those are the people that you are then throwing out into a world that is completely foreign to them, and they have to completely re-assimilate themselves and reacclimate themselves, you know what I mean, to a new society. That is crazy, just so you can be closer to the one train. Those are the people that you're throwing out. So for me, it just, when you have an opportunity to do things differently, you should. The girl that wrote that letter knows full and damn well why those people are being rude to her, and she also knows that and understands why they're being rude to her. But she doesn't care about that.
That's the difference.
And that's the problem for me. Gentrify away, move closer to the train. Like you said, friend, that's something that, hell, everybody wants.
Yeah.
But when you know the impact of what you're doing and you do it anyway just so that you can be in a more convenient space, that's fucked up.
Right. And another point, too, that I think those of us who have made it out in the sense of, no longer living in the projects or in a financially comfortable space, we're always so quick to run, too, and not, look back. I think that's another problem, too, because I know a lot of my peers are so quick as soon as they got money. It was like, hell no, I'm out. I'm not living in Harlem. I don't say you have to live there. I respect if you don't want to live there. I get it. My mom was like, why are you living there? That was my choice, But I do know that any money I make back, I'm constantly thinking about my neighborhood and those people that could benefit from the moves that I've made, And if we could all think like that, and imagine if white people could be more compassionate and empathetic to what's happening because they've arrived. And if those of us from the hood who have, quote unquote, made it out could give back. Imagine those two things, how much of an impact they would have.
You could move mountains.
And I feel like when we're thinking of resolve, those are the two conversations that need to be had. But how do we even do that? But hopefully this conversation sparks something in someone listening,
Yeah.
I mean, I know white people are like, well, I ain't moving.
Okay.
I'm right by the train.
Shit. But I do feel bad for y'all, but, we the reason Grubhub deliver up here. So, I mean, shit, they are the reason that Grubhub
That is the reason. Grubhub
Speaking of Grubhub
even
and
delivery
food
men,
delivery.
period. They would never come to my block.
Speaking of Grubhub and food delivery, this week's gospel song comes from none other than Kelly Price.
Grubhub?
Oh.
It comes from Kelly Price.
Well, why did Grubhub inspire that?
Yeah. Grubhub, Kelly Price.
So
this week's song.
Before you get started, we love Kelly Price. I love Kelly Price.
Yeah.
Just in case, she want to come on the Friend Zone.
I love Kelly Price's music.
Even though you was crazy as hell on that show, though, I'm not gonna.
I love Kelly Price's music. Moving on. So this week's gospel song is something that we want to inspire us in many different ways, right? When you feel like you have obstacles in front of you, or
I'm terrified. I'm shaking.
If you with a guy that just cheats on you, and just cheats on you like a rag doll. If you with a girl who, just is mercilessly just mean and just overbearing, or if, what else? If Sally Mae's on your back, whatever. This week's gospel song is called For Every Mountain. Now, there's a specific performance of this song that you need to see, right? There's a specific, never mind. But there's a specific performance of this song from BET Celebration of Gospel. Kelly Price, you know, she wasn't as big as she is now, but she had still like lost weight, but she had started getting bigger again. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she's real up and down with her weight.
Oh yeah, like up and down.
She got surgery though, right?
I hope she kept the receipt because it didn't pay. But anyway,
Dustin.
so so that's what this is. This is keep your receipt. Anyway, but yes, so there's this great performance of this song from BET Celebration of Gospel, and one thing we can say, Kelly Price may be full size, Kelly Price may be 4-door, whatever, but Kelly Price, Kelly Price,
you see this? You
can sing. And she makes.
Samir, can you turn Dustin's mic off?
He's coming up. Kelly Price makes great music, and this performance was just an example of her at her best. She was singing her heart out to "For Every Mountain," and it's from BET Celebration of Gospel. She's wearing all black, and she's got a short, spiky haircut. And it's great. So look up For Every Mountain.
I love how the listeners will tweet us the videos like as per your request.
That's right.
Like, no.
That's right. So this week is For Every Mountain by Kelly Price. And make sure you tweet at Hey Asante.
No.
HEYASSANTE.
Then why you did that? You know people were still tweeting the wrong
all show inquiries, any questions you have for us, anything, tweet it straight to Hey Asante. He's our email manager for the show. And he can take all of that communication at Hey Asante on Twitter.
But don't tweet me, email me. Now
that that's been cleared.
Now that we got that shit out the way.
Speaking of being cleared.
Oh, I thought she was going to say speaking of shit.
Speaking of shit, kind of. So we got a lot of letters.
I'm not putting no shit on my face now.
The Aztec clay make you not have to shit. Go ahead.
Now, when I gave you guys the Aztec healing clay tip, a lot of you were so into it. It was so exciting because people were tweeting us the pictures and pictures of them with the clay on and the after results, which was awesome. I'm glad that you guys are liking it. But then what it did spark was a conversation about acne. And I bumped into a lot of you on the street. You
bumped. A conversation about acne. I bumped
into you on the street.
Sorry, go ahead, friend.
So I walked past a lot of you on the street.
Why? Because of that acne. Go ahead. No, I'm just kidding.
Dustin's killing me today. Ooh. So I don't know what other word to use.
He on the roll.
I hugged you guys. And you were telling me that you were like, it's crazy that you don't wear any makeup, and because I never wear makeup, and I'm totally comfortable with the state of my skin and being able to talk to people without having to have a beat face, you know. So
you're not bumping into them.
Here you go. So I wanted to give you guys tips that I felt were valuable for clear skin. Now, the Aztec Healing Clay, since it's something that most of you have already purchased, I definitely suggest that. That's like my number one tip. Using that. Yeah, I usually use it like I say once every 3 weeks. If you're someone that suffers from severe acne or if it's like cystic, I would use apple cider vinegar mixed in with the clay as instead of water. Water is fine for those of us with maybe combination skin or regular skin problems, but if you have like a real acne problem, throwing that ACV, that acidity is so good for you. It'll restore the pH of your skin, and it kind of whatever sections, maybe your T-zone that are overproducing and maybe those dry sections that are underproducing, the ACV basically balances it out so that the oils are all natural and coming in properly as they need to, and you'll notice like a complete difference with the state of your face. The second thing that I think most people forget, they're pillowcases.
Oh my God.
Right?
One side of your face is dirty as hell and the other side is crystal clean. Two-faced looking at. That's why you need to wash your goddamn pillowcase.
Some people, you leave their pillowcases and their whole bed sheets for weeks, and it's just something that doesn't cross most people's minds. And I get it, we're all tired, you're stressed, so much going on. Sometimes something that little, you're just not really thinking about it. But I always say changing my bed sheets or at least your pillowcases, whatever you have to do, at least once a week. You'll notice such a drastic change in the state of your skin. Like, it'll just help clear up, because you're sleeping on all of those days and days and days of oil. A lot of people don't shower before they go to bed, so you're sleeping with the street.
See, that's where I draw the damn line.
Yeah, you're sleeping with the street on you, the day on you, your work on you, people touching you.
What kind of sheets do you use?
Well, I'm going to say the most ideal would be, if not your whole bed set, but at least the pillowcases would be silk or satin. I say get silk.
You do silk
or
sheets?
A satin weave, huh?
A satin weave.
No, I don't mean like your hair.
No, I mean, I know.
A satin
that
weave.
was still funny though. Bitches put anything in their head.
Right. Like, girl, where I get that?
You have a whole satin set?
I do, but it's so New Jack City.
Right.
You know what I mean? People come in, they're like, girl, really?
Bed sheets looking like them pajamas TLC was dancing in.
I'm trying to get y'all to your friend's bedroom.
It's such a like old school drug dealer's bedroom.
I love the opulence, the gaudiness.
Right.
I love
the
it.
Opulence.
Yeah.
I love that word. So if you don't mind being opulent.
That's right.
Come on.
No, if you're cool with it, I say go ahead and get you a whole set of silk sheets. It feels nice. It's actually really good for your skin as a whole. It's good for your hair too, because it's not absorbent.
So I got that pink ass pillowcase.
Right. All the cotton sheets that we use, cotton absorbs.
Yeah.
So whatever moisture you put into your face and your body to go to sleep, it sucks it right up. That's why you wake up with your hair dry, your skin ashy.
Cotton just sucking the life out of you. All you trying to do is get some damn rest. And you waking up looking like somebody put a dirt devil on you.
Looking like you need some apple cider vinegar and Aztec healing clay
under your arm. Put a teaspoon under your arm. I seen your grandmama do it with a baby in her arm. Put her hand in the car and started leaning hard. That's a little too short for y'all.
I was like, what is this song? Yeah. I thought you were freestyling. So that's what I suggest. If not the whole bed set, at least get the pillowcases to be satin or silk. That would be pretty ideal. So that was how many? 3 tips? 2 tips?
Yeah.
2 tips.
2 tips. Here we go. Okay, so now the cleanser that I use the Acure brand, ACURE brand of argan oil, and it's sold at the beauty aisle at Whole Foods. Argan oil is great because it doesn't clog your pores. It's rated low on the comedogenic list, which is a list that lets you know which oils do clog your pores. So it's a good list to look up on the internet. But it's low on the list, so you can use it. And if you're someone with sensitive skin, combination, oily, whatever your skin type is, it's a great oil. All you need is a dime size amount. Literally 1 pump will clean your entire face. So the bottle is gonna last you for a long time. Like, I've had that bottle for pretty much the entire summer and it hasn't gone down, so it's cost effective, so that's great, and it's all natural. What more could you ask for? It's easy to find. Whole Foods is everywhere. So I just put a dime size, clean my face, and then rinse it off, and then I put a dime size amount again to moisturize it. So my cleanser and moisturizer are the same thing, and it's just one oil, one ingredient. Trust me, your face is gonna glow up like crazy. You probably never seen your face look like that. A lot of people tell me that when they start using it, they're like, I didn't even know my skin, that this was my actual complexion, because a lot of people use so many chemicals that it actually lightens you up.
They're using the wrong concealer.
Yeah, it looks like
they're using all that white what's that shit they put on their under the makeup to make it brighter
or whatever.
That highlighter. Yeah, you're using all that. All you need is a dime size amount of argan oil. You use a dime size and end up a dime. Bam.
He said boom.
You gonna be part of the urban marketing campaign.
I'm looking for a dime. That's top of the line. Cute face and waist with a big behind. I mean a dime. Yeah.
So
bad bitch.
So the Aztec healing clay with ACV. Get you some New Jack City sheets.
Yep.
Get you some argan oil. There's a scrub. There's a 4th tip. I said the bed sheets. That was one of them. The bed sheets. Yeah. So there's a scrub called Frank. It's from Australia.
Like the hot sauce?
Right. Mm-hmm. But it's a body and face scrub. Google it, you guys. I've actually mentioned it on Twitter. You'll find it on my Twitter. I think their Twitter is Frank Bod. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. He's over here singing.
Can't you see 2 men at a time?
But I told you not to use my Frank scrub.
Now I think you better leave this place.
I'm about to use my Frank scrub and wash my face.
Y'all are a mess. So if you use the scrub, it's made out of coffee and it has like orange zest, almond oil. It's all natural. It's super
Damn, I bet
amazing.
you they face.
I
You know
love a
what? That sounds
coffee
like a good gift to give someone that you're
That do
dating.
sound-
Because then when you
Yes.
lick their face, it'll taste good. Coconut oil,
Leave it to
orange,
Dustin.
and coffee.
Orange zest. Listen,
Mhm,
it smells so good when you open the bag and it's fresh and you can use it on your face and your body.
And your buttocks.
A lot of people, your buttocks. A lot of people, your feet too.
And your
Everywhere.
hat. Now you know.
You know
Here
how
we
you
go.
feel about
Yes.
feet, Dustin. So that's something that I know a lot of people that have acne scars and pick at their face all the time, and that's problematic because your hands are dirty. You shouldn't be picking at your face. But the scrub is really amazing, and if you're someone that is suffering from old acne scars, using the scrub once a week will help you eliminate them. And I promise you, because I had some scars on my jawline from, old pimples and things that I had been picking at. And now if you see me in person, you don't see them at all.
At all.
Right. My skin is really clear and healthy, and I can really attribute that to the combination of the argan oil, the pillowcases, the Aztec healing clay, the Frank scrub.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's really
keys
a
to the
lifestyle.
kingdom.
Yeah, those are 4 tips. So I'm trying to think, what's the 5th one? Of course, drinking water.
Oh, always got to drink that
Yeah,
water.
and eliminating a lot of these sodas and juices. If you're someone that is addicted to soda or juices or things with caffeine, I suggest buying, I think I mentioned it in another episode, it's a tea called yerba mate. It's spelled YERBA MATE. It's a natural tea from the Amazon with a really nice amount of caffeine that will help wean you off of coffee, soda, things that you might be addicted to that are not contributing to your health. So look into those. Drink
Now,
more
Fran
water.
just hooked y'all up.
Those
So,
are my 5
She
tips for
did.
clear skin.
A
And
lot of
listen
people
to
have
you.
been emailing about that
Yeah,
stuff too.
and I promise you those 5 tips, you guys. I promise you, it doesn't matter how bad your acne is, it will help change your face within a month. I'm not someone that Wikipedia's my recipes. I don't just say things to have YouTube videos up. I only post when I have something that I find is of value and actually works. That's why people even listen to what I have to say, because
the
they
shit
see it.
works.
Yeah,
That's
they
right.
see it. It's stuff that I've tested for months on myself, on other people. So hopefully you guys will be glowing and dewy and beautiful and tropical looking, and hit me back with before and after pictures.
It's cuffing season, y'all.
Right?
You better
That's
get your
right.
argan oil, y'all.
Right. And you ain't gonna want to go nowhere, so she's giving you the tools that you can have right there in your
Yeah, and
house.
now it's about to be cold, so you can hibernate and glow up, and then when the
That's
summer
right.
and spring, and you'll be fine.
And oil is multi-use, so you gonna get your money's worth.
That's
That's
right.
true.
Okay.
That's true.
That's very true. You can use it on your nails too, since we talked about that, and they'll be here looking at it. They'll be here working.
Cuffing season.
So hopefully those tips are helpful. Definitely give us feedback on that. And that is my wellness section for this
Yay.
week.
It was great this week.
Thank
you went off
you.
this week.
For real.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the beauty tips, we should probably stick to those.
And
'cause
honestly, those things
they're
like
helpful.
will change your lives, like for real. Like
It
I
really,
remember
really
because
works.
of you, I used to tweet like back on my old account, doing my natural girl coursework, watching at Hey Friend Hey.
Yeah. Go on my YouTube channel, you guys. A lot of these products and tips are already on there with tutorials for those of you that are visual learners.
Yeah.
You could go on my blog, heyfriendhey.com. I have them written down for those of you who rather read. And my Instagram, of course, for those of you that just like a quick picture with a quick caption. That's good
right.
for you. So whatever your style of learning is, it's there. And I am going to be putting up a lot more DIY videos because my schedule has cleared up a bit this month. So I'm going to be able to focus on YouTube the next month or so. So
What else are you
Let's
going to
get
be
going.
making? What are you going to be making this month?
the video that I'm doing is going to be aromatherapy and how to use scents that smell good but also have
Yes.
like emotional benefits. That's actually the video that's coming up this week.
Okay.
So I'm going to teach you how to do some oil mixtures that are good for like anxiety, for stress.
Yeah.
and things that just smell good. Everybody wants a nice smelling house, right?
That's right.
Hell
in a healthy way.
That's right. In
Right?
a healthy way. Mm-hmm.
No shady candles, no shady incense.
Well,
Mind you, I am the king of Glade candles.
The Glade candles.
Oh, I have
And the
some
plug-ins.
too.
Yeah, I have all that shit, like plug-ins.
Okay.
I have. Oh my god, I have the oil, the burner thing. It's like the melt. I have one of those.
I seen
It's really good. You saw it
I
when you
did see it.
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna definitely do a video teaching you how to make your own candles and teaching people how to roll their own incense.
Ooh, can I be there? Can I? No.
Everything's gonna be natural and awesome. They're over here laughing, and I don't know why.
Everything's gonna be natural and awesome when you teach them how to roll their own.
That's gonna be a funny video.
Yeah. So yes.
So get into that soon. I'll definitely keep you guys updated every week as I roll out the videos. I'll let you know what you will find.
Just keep rolling them on out.
Keep rolling them on out.
And just don't
That's
bump into nobody.
friend.
Hey,
Asante
friend.
is so childish. He's so childish. But that's hey friend hey at YouTube.
Yeah, and I'm Hey Friend Hey across the board. So
RT
keep us
Cackle.
posted on those tips. Now it's time for the icebreakers.
Ooh.
Oh, and you know what? I was actually periscoping when I first got here, and y'all gave me a lot of really good icebreakers, and y'all know that I don't retain anything. So again, if you want to send us in some suggestions.
Imagine like they're really nice, but I don't remember them.
No, there are some I do remember, but
You
I
just
don't
remember being impressed.
Right,
Yeah.
I remember. Oh, those
Yeah.
are really good ideas. I wish I could hold on to one.
Yeah.
You
better hold on.
Again, when you submit, please don't hesitate to email us at thefriendzone@loudspeakersnetwork.com. Don't forget to tweet us at friendzonepod. Talk to us, tell us things,
And we have a Facebook too.
Oh, and the Facebook.
Yeah, I don't think we ever mentioned it.
We always forget about
yeah,
Facebook.
the
Forget
Facebook
about the
is the
Facebook.
Friend Zone podcast. So just look it up. We're there. So if you're on Facebook and you need that alert for the new episodes, just go ahead and press like on that page.
Holla at us. Come here, let me holla at you. Holla, 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 holla. Bitch, what's wrong with you?
So what's the icebreaker, Asante?
If you could live, no, I'm just kidding. If you had to pick any sort of hot sauce for a chicken burrito, what kind of hot sauce would it be?
Are you kidding?
No,
This can't
I'm
be
just
the
fucking
real
around. I know you don't even eat meat this season.
Like,
It wouldn't be no icebreaker about that.
And I've never liked hot sauce.
That ain't the icebreaker. That's the
Damn.
shit starter. I'm about to go off.
Wait, what? Okay, wait. Really
I've
fast.
never in my life understood hot sauce.
I don't understand why someone would
Why
want
do you want everything
Okay,
you
well, what
eat
about
to
like a
taste
pepper or
like this?
and to
something?
be uncomfortable. But anyway, go ahead.
Y'all are
What?
some masochistic
Oh my
eaters.
god, I put hot sauce on my salad, B.
And people
like, that's
put it
how
on
be.
everything.
Oh,
I
love
cook.
hot
I
sauce.
cook with it,
Oh.
but I don't use it. I don't just put it on my shit, which I
No,
know that
I
I'm in the
never understood
minority.
that. And it's such
I know I'm in
it's
the
No,
such
minority.
a lot of
taste.
people look at me crazy when they're like, "Damn, you still use like that hot sauce is late apparently. Like you still using hot sauce? Things taste good now."
I'm still eating.
I'm like,
ain't
well,
I?
what was you eating before to where you just needed the hot sauce
Just
for
the
it?
food that's been seasoned for you. Why not eat that? I
All
never
right.
understood it.
Okay, let's say you're a rapper. If you could collab with any other, you remember back when like the remix was like real and it was hot. If you could collab on a remix project, oh, this could be two different ones. A, what remix project would you wish you would have been on that was out, that's already been out? Like, I wish I could have been on Touch It because it was so long. Or just name 3 rappers you would want to be on your rap collaboration.
This is easy for me.
3 rappers.
Or-
And I'm a rapper.
Fine, we can just do other music and stuff. Any remixes and stuff.
I wish I would have been on the One More Chance remix.
Ooh.
Yep. I
Any
wish
Bad
I would have
Boy
been on the
remix.
One More Chance remix. I do. That's just iconic. I can remember my brother waking me up at 2:00 in the morning because they played Video Soul again, and the One More Chance remix video was on, and I just remember it being iconic. Like I would love to be on that.
So good.
If I was going to have rappers on, if I had a song that was a hit and I was going to have rappers hop on my remix, I would have, 9 times out of 10, if it was my song, it would be like a turn up, you know what I'm saying? Like party
Right.
kind of song, very raunchy and hood, you know, and just fun, a fun club dance record, right? So I think I would have,
ASAP Shirley.
I would have her singing the hook. I would definitely have a verse from Trina. I would definitely have, who else does remixes? I would have Mary J. Blige sing the hook. Nobody sings a rap hook like Mary J. Blige on a rap remix. I would have Mary singing the hook, and so I need one more artist. And I would have a male voice. Jay-Z. Jay-Z used to be the king of remixes. I would have Jay-Z on it. Yeah, that's what I would do. Jay-Z, Trina, and Mary. Ooh, hit. Number one.
Jay-Z, Mary, and Trina. That's an interesting trio.
That sounds like it would be hot, though.
Right. I think a remix I would have wanted to be on was, you remember Brandy's I Want to Be Down?
Yes.
remix?
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
With, who
About
was it?
them,
Yo
about
Yo,
So
Queen
Big.
Latifah.
Everybody.
Everybody was on it.
Everybody
That
was
video was
relevant
cool
then.
too.
Yes, it was.
That was probably one of my favorite remixes ever. Now the dream team that I would put together. Dang, that's a tough one. Let's see. Oh my God, it's tough.
That is tough, ain't it?
Cause there's so much good music.
There's so many people like across all the different eras. Like it's just like fuck. Who would it be?
And just think about the different people that could hop on the
and
track.
you know what?
And make
For my
it hot.
remix, I said I wanted to do "Touch It" because I remember when I was in school and it came out, and then everybody was at their desk like, burn, 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 chant, and everybody was doing it. I remember being in class and like, I could kill these niggas on this beat, like just the kids at school.
Aww,
it was either
I
that
miss
one
those days.
and "Welcome to Atlanta" when the remix came and everybody like. They had the St. Lunatics on the remix. You know, Diddy was always hot then. Like, I was like, this right here. Like, Atlanta has always been it. Like, Ludo, y'all did this and shit. But, like, it was just the shit. I just always thought that the remix to Welcome to Atlanta was going to be, like, legendary. And it was. When it came out in the videos and shit. Because Atlanta was always popping. Freaknik, all that stuff.
Freaknik.
Now it's Black Hollywood. They're trying to refine its excellence or some bullshit. I don't know what Atlanta's doing.
Yo, you know who would actually be dope on a song? And this is going to sound so cheesy, but it's true. I think Sade, because she's so emo.
Yes.
Wouldn't she be dope with like Drake or Kendrick?
Yeah, yes.
If she were down. I don't think she would do it.
She did a song with Jay-Z, remember? Jay-Z was on her remix to...
Well, no, he just used her... Didn't he just like use a piece of one of her songs and put it on the hook, or was it an original hook?
He was on the remix to her song on what was that last album she had?
I remember it was called like The Moon and the
Soldier or something.
Yeah.
Jay-Z was on the official remix to Soldier.
I didn't know it was official because she always seems so like
she was against it, but she picked him.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
But I could see her with like Drake or Kendrick.
That would be cool. Oh yeah, Kendrick, he would love.
Or even the like J. Cole. I know people love J.
Cole.
Oh, you know,
one of the three, or maybe all three.
Or Kaya.
Wait, don't. That's wait. Why are you laughing? Hold on, Kaya. Hold on. Don't forget about
Sade.
Kaya and Janet Jackson.
And and that's why she was making fun of Janet, talking about. Let me not even. I'm not gonna repeat.
Yeah, I saw it.
Look at you. Look at you. Look at you.
I saw it on Twitter and was mad. I was like, don't make fun of Janet.
Oh, so you gonna die? My song would be.
Janet is on vocal rest.
My song would be. So India Shawn would definitely sing on it for sure. And Drake would be on the track with India. It would be like India singing.
Oh, India.
Drake would have to be on it. I really, you know what? I'm really fucking with Big Sean heavy. Like that last album.
Yeah.
You really, you put me on.
That last album really like left me with a lot. So I'd have to have him on it.
What about Travis Scott on something?
Travis Scott and Drake. You know what? I want Travis Scott and Drake to do a project together. But I don't know. Yeah. Do you remember? Oh, you know Travis Scott always does stuff with like T.I. on his mixtapes and all that. If like Travis Scott, T.I., Drake, and like Party Next Door and Big Sean did some shit together, I would fuck with
all
that.
All the hype kids.
Hell
all the
yeah.
hype beasts.
But
Travis Scott and Haim.
That would be dope.
Yes.
That would be dope. I even think Azealia Banks, she's like coming around. Like a lot of people are fucking with her heavy.
I want people to mess with her. Mel LaRue. Can we put her in the forefront again? I miss her. She's so good.
She was.
Asante's rolling his eyes and I'm just feeling away.
I'm just fucking with you.
Well, that was our icebreaker. Let's get into these listener letters.
Asking for a friend.
Friend. You got a friend.
Someone called us, what do they call us?
You got
mental deodorant. And I was like, oh my God, now people starting to come up with their own version of Dustin's tagline.
And we antiperspirant and deodorant. punk. Don't you forget it.
Really?
The combo, yeah.
There's a difference.
Not no cheap ass Tussie either. This is good deodorant over
Tussie,
here.
are you fucking kidding with me?
That's the one you see in the window in the Harlem shops.
Tussie deodorant.
See, that ain't even right. For our first listener letter we have, this one is, on the last episode, we talked a little bit about friendships and not having time to speak. This person debated whether or not they should send an email, but it's been on their mind, so they emailed in this. Dustin made a comment that once you are purpose-driven and find a focus, all of your energy becomes so concentrated that you aren't able to speak to others without making optimal use of your time. I know that the comments were geared specifically towards friendships, but do you all think that this also applies to relationships?
Yes, I definitely do. I think that that's something that we lose. A lot of times we feel like we have to be involved in every detail and every second of our partner's life, but we don't. When we met them and we were interested in them, they were a complete stranger. So it's good to have some things that are exclusive to us, an individual in the relationship. And so if you're with someone who has found a purpose and who's focused on, making their way toward their purpose and being purpose driven, that's a great thing. And not only that, it gives you more things to talk about in your relationship when shit gets boring and dull. There's always something fresh and new being brought into the situation. So I definitely think that applies, and it will take away from the time that you just kick it and shoot the shit, but maybe you can have more meaningful conversations now because they have something to talk about other than, love and hip hop. So, yeah, I think it's great. What about you, Fran?
I definitely think it's great. I've been in relationships with men who are really busy, and I loved it because it just pushed me, because the more time you spend not with them, it makes you wonder, well, I should probably be working just as hard,
Right.
Or if you're that partner that is the one that's the super busy one, I think it's nice if they're supportive. I've had boyfriends that weren't as busy, and they would actually kind of become a part of what I was working on. They'd help me shoot my videos or help me edit or help me, get my shots and with photography if I had campaigns. Your partners can be a part of it and help you. If anything, you guys can help each other. Maybe you have some kind of skill set that is useful to what they're trying to build, and vice versa. One thing I do notice, if you guys do grow apart, a lot of people are needy and don't really like relationships that are either long distance or, with someone that's super busy. And if you're just that needy, like, that says a lot about you and maybe the time you're not putting into.
Right.
I've had a lot of men that I've dated that were really concerned and how long I would take to text them back. And I would tell them, well, if you're sitting waiting on me to text you, you must not be busy enough. That's just the reality of it.
True.
Or you should have called.
Well, that too. But I was
so
busy,
I cannot answer.
So I can
red button. Okay.
No, but seriously, if you're that person that is constantly frustrated about texts taking too long and not getting called and not being able to have, quality time, like, be busier. Match up or find someone who isn't as busy. Like, that's really all I can say. But I actually thrive off of really busy men and even long distance relationships. Those two are like my favorite combination because I just love someone that's doing shit.
It's something inspiring. Exactly. And it's just something.
Like you said, it adds to the conversation too. There's more to talk about. It's
exactly.
exciting.
Yeah.
You guys are like pushing each other.
Because, you're learning, especially when you learn about another person being in a relationship,
Yeah, I prefer it.
Yeah, you learning outside of a relationship. You got things to bring to the relationship that you've learned, and I think that's dope.
Yeah, and relationships get stale when you guys spend too much time together.
That's true,
really
too.
What I believe. Like, I'm not someone that you will find laid up on the couch watching Netflix with my boyfriend often. Like, it's just not... we're both usually working, making things happen, making moves. And those days that we do have to kick it and be chill like that are appreciated even more.
There you go.
Because it doesn't happen often. You know what I mean? So that's something that, I don't know, that's how it works for me. I actually really enjoy it.
Yeah, that actually, for me, I'm so one-track minded sometimes that I forget that I can be in a relationship and like go get my shit at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard for people
to be consumed.
Yeah, it's hard for people to move in and out of these relationships where they either have to multitask or, entertain like some new thing or let alone realizing that they're changing and, that they want different things now outside of a relationship. And I think you get fucked up that way too, because sometimes you realize you want different things in your life, then you want different things in a relationship too, and it's like that might be a cause of some rifts in there, but
which is natural.
And I think it's actually good. It's like it's a progression, like you said. Once you realize the things that you aren't doing, like if you are sitting here waiting on a text and you realize you do need to be doing some other shit with your life, it's always better in a relationship to, have something else going on, to either learn more about yourself or the other person. And I think that everything that you apply in friendships, you also have to apply in relationships on some level at some point.
And don't send me no damn question marks just because I didn't respond to your text. I hate that. That drives me up a wall.
Oh my God.
Don't send me no question marks. Like,
don't
what
like
the hell?
Either.
I used to do that.
I don't like those either.
You might as well just call me and say, hey, don't respond to shit else I send you, okay? Because that's exactly how I'm going to react to question marks. And then they don't just send one. They send like 4.
Mm-hmm, always. I used to send a whole row. A whole row.
Hell no.
And then let me wait a couple more hours. You'll get that again.
When I tell you that,
you're gonna wait days from me.
When I tell you it will stay marked as unread, stay. Like, ooh, god damn.
Don't have red receipts on.
And with the red receipt on, like, oh okay.
Oh no.
So yes, just a little FYI for me to do. I'm gonna do a sidebar. I'm gonna do never mind. I'm not gonna say it because if I say it, then you guys are gonna ask me where it is. So never mind. But just look out. I'm coming back to YouTube soon, you guys.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see what's popping with that. All right. So for this one, here goes. I'm at an interesting point in my life. I'm a few months away from my 28th birthday. Despite this, I still feel like I don't know who I am. When I turned 27, I had a great few months where I felt like I was getting a clear sense of who I was, not giving too much energy to the opinions of others, protecting my time and my peace by doing things that I want to do. But for some reason, within the last month or so, I feel like I'm back to where I started. I really don't know who I am. In a group of friends, I too easily take on the energy of others and behave the way I think they want me to. Sometimes I can be outspoken and other times I can be quiet and docile. I know this is not good and I want to get to a place where I feel comfortable in my own skin but also have a clearer sense of self so I don't have to pretend to be someone I'm not, depending on who I'm around. What are activities or exercises I can do to work toward that? My mom once said she didn't know who she was until she was in her 40s.
Well, the first activity I would suggest is waiting until you turn 40. No, I'm just kidding.
And then asking your mom.
Yeah.
Right.
And they say, is this what you meant?
E2 mama 10 bien. No, so, okay. You know what? I think that you have to kind of start with the basics sometimes, right? And so the friend that wrote into us said that when they turned 27, they thought that they were getting a grip on who they really were.
Right.
And they immediately mentioned, not caring about others' opinions of me. But that's not necessarily how you determine who you are. Mm-hmm. That's not what that means. And so I think that if you really start there, like on the ground level, and really do the work to recognize who you are, how you feel about things, what your opinions are on things that matter, what matters to you, what's important. Those are the things, and character, right? Your response to certain situations and your ability to be empathetic, like we mentioned earlier. Those are the ways that you discover who you are. It's really through response to different situations and occurrences in life. That's how you learn the lessons, and then your character is developed on the way that you react, thinking first, things like that. So if you kind of start there and really do that work, you'll find out who you are, and it'll end up having a domino effect on every area of your life, because you'll start making decisions based on what you found when you really spent time with yourself, identifying your feelings. A great way to start, just start watching the news. Watch a news program, watch a panel style talk show, and when they talk about things of importance, not who the fuck broke up in celebrity news this week, but when they start talking about shit, about things that are going on in the world, and you start looking at all the different sides and perspectives, and you form, a viewpoint, you form a perspective, that's how you start discovering who you are. Another thing that you need to do is read every book that you possibly can, because the more knowledge you have, the more you start making informed decisions, and that's really how you develop yourself. And another thing, I hate to say this, but it's just the reality, it comes from pain. When you experience pain and you learn from that, and you learn how to rebound, and you learn how to you learn how to rebuild yourself, those are the defining moments where you really become clear on who you are in life and where you fit in on the scale of everybody else out here,
Right.
you know? So those are the things that I'd like to share with you. That's it.
Yeah, and I would suggest just be. You know, I think everyone is trying to create something and become something and looking for something. And a lot of the times you just have to relax, think of the things. There was a tweet that I actually posted this week. I retweeted it from a guru, and it was like, jot down the things that make you happy. That's number 1. Number 2, look at the things you do every day. Number 3, compare those 2 lists. And number 4, adjust accordingly.
God damn, just that simple.
Yep.
Just that simple. Because like we said last week, what we need more of are happy people. So find out what makes you happy and make sure you're doing everything you can on a regular basis. Not every day, because we're not robots. We're not going to be happy every day. That's the reality. But at least the majority of your time here, just make sure you're doing the things that allow you to feel happy and like you're thriving and you're helping. And you know what's funny, a lot of the things that make people feel happy is usually when they're helping in some way. We all want to feel useful. So what can you do to contribute, you know, to your neighborhood? Maybe there's a passion you have, whether it's music or art or something. What can you contribute to those genres? Like,
that's right.
Find your contribution. And I really feel that's the biggest thing. Find your contribution.
Find your contribution.
That's
where
it.
your ass was at.
You know what?
Find your contribution. Where your ass was at.
and to tie like both of these together, the way that I know that I'm younger than this person, but like it's still a great question, because I feel like, you know, you get to these ages, so you feel like you pass in these stages, right? You're like, all right, I'm 27, I'm about to be 28, or I'm 28 and I've done this, and I remember I was 25 and this happened. So like now I'm like reading this, I'm like, all right, cool. But one thing that's helping me find, you know, what I want to say, I have been reading a lot more and journaling.
See?
So you know what? For this person,
that's a great note to end on.
And you know what? You don't even have to save the. Well, I suggest you save the journals just so you can go back and look and see how you felt about something before. Just so you see, like, you know, you see how much things change. If you sit by yourself, you're gonna start to form those opinions, and then you're gonna be able to say, well, why do I feel this way? And then you'll be able to answer those questions, and you'll be able to just like navigate like a pro.
And let me tell you something too. Speaking to journaling, right? Journaling is an excellent tool in relationships where you may have a problem in your communication, when you arguing a lot with your partner. Journaling gives you a chance to
work everything out,
filter your emotions first before you talk to the person,
right?
So that when they say things that you would normally react to, you've already visited that emotion.
Yep, it's a pause button.
It's a pause button, and it gives you a chance to really get yourself together.
Yeah,
and it really is a helpful tool in turning that beat around when it comes to miscommunication in relationships. Because I ain't finna be doing all that damn arguing. I'm just gonna tell you now.
I'll be home right
for real.
Don't ask me shit. Don't ask me a damn thing. No,
and I was saying you don't have to say it, because I know for me, I have like my new public journal, and I have all these drafts, but before I even get to the draft, sometimes I'll sit down and write a whole page or two, and then I'll just delete it. I'm like, I'm not.
Well, sometimes you just need to get out a specific energy that you don't want to revisit, and that's fine. It's usually the heavy negative ones.
Yeah.
But the reason that I suggest keeping your journals, for 2 reasons actually. Number 1, it's a great puzzle to look at, because you can see the different stages of your life and why you went and became who you are now. That's number 1. And number 2, a lot of the times, a lot of things that I felt were so serious and heavy and awful, and like, you know, when I ended up looking back, they're nothing. And now it almost helps me moving forward. Like, it's a very this too shall pass thing. You know what I mean? And having journals kind of allows you to remember that, because you'll be able to look through in chronological order all the things you've been through, how you got past them, and why you're still here today. And you're gonna go through more things and get past them. And journals are the best way to remind you that. Hopefully that helps you. Yay. And that's it for this week's show, you guys.
Thank you all so much for listening. Again, please email us at thefriendzone@loudspeakersnetwork.com. Are there any church announcements that anybody wants to make?
Man, I ain't got shit to say, man.
I
don't have any.
Man?
Actually, no, I do have one.
Yes.
I have a collaboration that I'm doing with a company called Curl Mix,
Mm.
and it's a subscription box service that it's for the DIY person that likes to make stuff. So I'm collaborating with them. My video will go up on Monday on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/HeyFriendHey.
Okay.
And I will be giving out a really awesome hair and skin butter that you can make on your own. And if you might already have the ingredients, but if you don't, you can purchase the box from curlmix.com. I'll have all that information in the video on Monday, and they'll send you the box with everything you need, all the raw ingredients and tools.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
that is cool.
And it's a collaboration that I think is so fun, and that way, you know, you'll have everything sent to you to your house. You don't have to go look for it in all the different stores. Right.
On 125th.
Yeah, and you can just buy it and then make it, and you'll have, you know, your homemade jar of Hey Friend Hey goodness to
That's
last you for a
dope.
couple weeks. Yeah,
Yes.
so I'll have that video up on Monday, and you can check www.curlmix.com just to kind of get some more information on how the box works and what to look forward to. So that's my only church announcement.
Dope. Well, that's coming this Monday.
This Monday, yeah.
Well,
November 2nd.
So for me, the 16th, November 16th, I'll be performing with my homegirls for the Soul Glow Project podcast. I'll give you more information about that on next week's episode.
Awesome.
That's so cool.
Improv.
Yeah,
Yay.
so if you're in New York,
we'll all be there.
No, you don't have to come.
Oh, you know
Actually,
I'm coming.
no, it's gonna be good.
No, it's in Harlem. You guys support Harlem. Bring
So
business to
hello.
Harlem.
Hello.
Based on this whole
See?
conversation.
If you need a reason, just press rewind, slide that bar right on back. I have church announcements.
You know
so
what? This is our gentrification resolution. Come spend money in Harlem.
That's
come
right.
see Asante
Come
do his
see
thing
Asante
in
on the
Harlem.
16th.
That's right.
And let's keep doing that.
Because
for
you're
each
funny.
other.
You're funny. And so
Look, but you know what? To tie into the bigger picture, this isn't about me really. Like, they wanted me to do something for them, and I've been on their show before, and so I said, you know, this is a good time to showcase some black talent. So I know some of my black people in comedy that I've been seeing. Oh, I just thought of somebody else I need to ask to do it. Anyway, I just said this is a great place for like some black people to show out. So why not just do that? And not that it needs to be black versus white, but it's like, I just want to see more black faces in different things. So
yeah,
y'all know we funny, so we just gonna be funny at the improv show. I'm not even like nervous about it.
Yay.
I just can't wait for everybody to see it.
I can't wait to see it. I'm really excited.
Well, you have a church announcement now, don't you?
I do have a church announcement on
Give it to us.
November 14th. I'll be speaking at the 2015 Block Annual Conference.
Yeah.
I'm speaking on the panel on entertainment and blacks in music, sports, and radio. It's at NYU. I'm really excited about it. Block is a really cool organization that like connects black collegiates with black professionals. It's just a really, really dope organization. And this is their second conference. So at NYU is kind of like a big deal.
Yeah,
kinda.
NYU.
Yes,
That's
it is.
big
So I'm
deal.
really excited to shake the table on the panel because y'all know me and y'all know how I do. And so I'm going to make sense, but I'm going to make everybody laugh, and it's going to be really great. I just have to find something conservatively sexy to wear. Fran, you can help me with
right,
that.
we'll go shopping.
You'll help me with that, yes. So
Lord.
looking forward to that, everybody.
Yay.
Well, thank you all for tuning in for another episode of The Friend Zone. I'm
Thank
Asante.
you for tuning in.
All right, we got to get out of here.
Really wish I had some juice and gin.
We love you guys.
Later.
See you
You
next
used
week.
to be fat, just seen you, and now you is thin.
Kelly Price, bring your big ass up here and join in.
Okay, see, that's it. Bye.
Bye.